All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, it's the brother Kalaya.
Brother Tazwan.
Brother Bayan.
All right, we coming at you with a quick sit down lesson. All right, shouldn't be too long. Before we get started, we like to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to those elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, and this lesson will be predicated on, the fall of our people. Okay, in particular, just the not only the outward appearance, because of course we understand that our people fell away from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, which in turn, in spirit, they fell away. But just the customs and our heritage have fell away as well, man. The aesthetics of being an Israelite. Okay, if that can be applied there.
Break the ice real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. This is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever."
And ultimately, that was Yahweh. Okay, then that was Jeremiah, correct? Yeah, Yahweh was telling Jeremiah, even him himself as a prophet, which he represent us. Okay, because we were discontinued as well. All right, he was basically telling them, I'm gonna make the whole Israel fall off.
Yeah.
Okay, and through the process of time, okay, through the progression of prophecy, we have been brought back into our power. All right, but nevertheless, our heritage. And Babakasha, get that word heritage.
Yeah.
Just to get some insight on that and what it consists of, because you have a lot of black power sort of people. They use that word heritage a lot. Go into it.
It says heritage that it says in the online etymology, it says that which may be inherited, heir,
right,
inheritance, ancestral estate,
so
heirloom.
So and your heritage, okay, your inheritance, right?
What you inherit.
You inherit.
And that can, ultimately, deal with, like you said, customs, etc. Like you inherit, a certain way of behavioral patterns, so on and so forth, as well as, of course, tangible things, money,
right,
land, so on and so forth.
And if I could say, going back to that Jeremiah 17, all right, Yahweh said that he would discontinue, all right, our heritage. Okay, so we lost not only our spirituality, all right, but we lost everything, our customs, okay, our high holy days, all right, everything,
our ways.
That's
why it's like just to add on to you. That's why you got certain brothers who go into what's it called, Bible customs and manners. Even like how we was dealing with the 50 shekels thing, things like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just going into those customs, ancient customs, etc. That we kept. We lost all of that. Because now here in America we're westernized. You see, so we're not in that but it was going to that regal state that we once were in. We're that regal mindset.
Right.
That ruling class mindset that we had. All that has departed from the nation of Israel as a whole.
And so just to give a little insight on the inspiration of this video, I am not going to go into details, but brothers went out and I think I worded it somewhere along the lines of, we have to basically, I'm not going to say we as in, brothers in the truth, but Jake as a whole has to pretend to be regal, all right? When you see a guy who's looking sharp, he's dressed well, okay, up, well put together, they think Jake, oh, look at him, you're a spectacle.
Right. Motherfucker. Yeah.
Who you think he is?
Right. But just to add on to you, because that's us though.
Right.
That's how we should be carrying ourselves, and that's why we are a spectacle. Like even across the board, like when brothers step, they're like, damn, who the hell these dudes is? You know what I'm saying? Because Jake isn't used to our people coming with that type of energy. But all in all, that ultimately is an ancient way of thinking and how we once were, as a unit. You know what I'm saying?
And this experience, all right, that we had together. We shared this experience, all right, eating, fine dining, basically. However you sum that up, okay, being served properly, all right, things of that nature. That's actually a part of our customs, man. All right, we were, and we going back to it, man. Being kings and priests, all right, having the not only the monetary funds, all right, but what the authority over the nations that they may serve us properly, man. Okay. And one point I was harping on all throughout our little excursion, all right, was that you have this devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, who portrays to be regal. He's the actual, he's actually faking it. Though he wears his suit and ties, all right, 100 stitched suits, right? Italian leather, things of that nature.
Silk, linen.
He's still the basis of all men.
Yeah.
He's pretending, and if you could hold that on deck for me, the being a base, the basis of men. He's actually a fucking beast, man. He's portraying to be how we, were and how we gonna go back to, man. But you had something you want to bring out real quick?
Let me see. Yeah, I do. Real quick. I'm gonna go down.
All right. Well, let me get this Daniel.
Yeah, you got it.
Go ahead, Doc.
This is Daniel chapter 4 and 17. It says, "This matter is by decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men."
So, understanding, brothers brought this out too yesterday at camp. All right, or was that the sit down?
Camp.
It was camp.
Yeah.
Pretty much the Lord set up who he want to be up and who he want to be at the bottom. All right. And the Lord basically gave the criteria. He set up if you're the basis, you're at the bottom. The base is the bottom, all right, of whatever it is, all right, whatever structure it is. So in the totem pole or the hierarchy of the 18 nations that dwell upon the face of the planet Earth, Esau is at the bottom. He's the base. You see? The Lord said he set up the basis of men, okay, as the head to run it right now, man. Okay, which that's going into what is that? Job 9 and 24. All right, the wicked. All right, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. All right, you got your precept, and if you got something, you can bring it out too.
Real quick, I just want to jump to this Exodus.
Go ahead.
Okay, ultimately, going into pretty much how Israel was intended to be, okay, or be represented on the planet. All right, Exodus 19:5, it says, "Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine." And real quick, I just want to read it in the NLT or the AMP. It says, "Now therefore, if ye will in fact obey my voice and keep my covenant agreement, then you shall be my own special possession and treasure." You see? So, treasure, what? That's precious jewels, gold, silver, precious metals. All right? So this is how we were once intended to be a royal people, okay? It says, "From among all peoples of the world, for all the earth is mine." You see, verse 6, it says, "And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation set apart for my purpose. These are the words that you shall speak to the Israelites," right? You see, so us as a whole, we were intended to be a peculiar treasure, a royal people, okay, to the Heavenly Father, man. You see, that's what we were intended to be, but through the process of time, us going off, etc., it's like we read in Jeremiah 17, we lost all of that, okay? But for us beloved brethren in the faith and the ministry, we're bringing that back through the Spirit,
And that's beautiful that you said that, we're bringing that back. It's not, it shouldn't be foreign, okay?
Yeah.
To actually want to go out and treat yourself if Jake is capable or able to do that, all right? Because those are the that's that regal spirit coming back into the earth, man. Ultimately, starting with what? The 1/3 and 144,000, okay? Because if you think about it, the 144,000, under Yahushua, we're gonna be ruling the planet Earth, man.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's fitting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jake get into the jewels, Jake get into the gold, the silver, right? Living clean.
Yeah.
You know, abandoning eating crazy abominations and things of that nature. That all goes into being regal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Real quick, I just want to say this because you have this devil using lobster as an icon of being regal. All right.
Delicacy.
A delicacy. Right? If you're eating lobster in a restaurant, oh, he got big money. And I'm just using that, all right? But ultimately, when you go back into the history of eating lobster, that was actually slave food, man. You know?
Catch and cook, on the slave boats. Yeah.
Easy to catch. These things were easy to catch. All right, so really when you abstain from these different abominations and wicked tendencies, all right, you're exemplifying being regal, man, being holy.
Right.
And I got something to back you up real quick. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 25, and it goes in, this is the subtitle, it says, obedience is required with holiness. All right? It says, ye shall therefore put a difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowl and clean. And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beasts or by fowl or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. You see, so the Lord has put a difference even on the things that we should consume in our bodies, man. All right? It says, a man also, Salakia, I jumped too far. Verse 26 says, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. All right, so when you see these different nations eating these crazy, abominable foods and things of that nature, they're not exemplifying, kingly or regal, which that word regal gonna keep coming up.
Yeah, royal.
Royal tendencies. Those things are not royal tendencies because you're eating, some freak ass, abomination.
Right. You got like Moab eat squid and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not exquisite.
Yeah.
That's not Yeah, that's disgusting. That's unclean.
Kind of like, so like just to add on to you that Isaiah 5, when they say, woe unto you that, real quick, if I could just bring it out real quick.
You got your precept after that.
Isaiah 5 and 20, because this is what Esau Edom has done, all right, in the planet. Isaiah 5 and 20 says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Heavy.
That put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter, right? So, Esau Edom has took abominable things and made them delicacies, man. Okay?
That's right.
You see, but that's him. He's contrary to the Heavenly Father. All right? He's trying to be like the Most High. And in that, he has flipped everything that, the Heavenly Father said was good, all right, bad. And all right, everything that the Heavenly Father said that was bad, good.
That's right.
Just to back you up real quick, brother.
You got your precept.
Yeah, to back your brothers up, because again, we know that this damn devil, all right, the way that he operates, backing up the bro, got everything, upside down here. This is the upside down world, with this damn devil ruling over us. All right, but we know ultimately, again, us being the Jews of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, that process of shining again, going through the fire, going through the furnace, which the Lord promised. But, it's said at the end that we're going to get that shine back. All right, we're going to be that example of what to be, how to operate. That's why we need to be, back ruling over this place.
That's right.
So I'm going to get Zechariah chapter 9 and 12, and then I'm going to jump down at the bottom. All right, Zechariah 9 and 12 says, turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. All right. Jumping down, this is, speaking of the northern and southern tribes of Israel as a whole. All right, it says, verse 16, it says, and the Lord their power shall save them in a day as the flock of his people. For they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty! Corn shall make the young men cheerful, and new wine the maids. All right, but the point is, it's going to be a point in time that we're going to be lifted up again, as a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. Everybody's going to know, who the Lord's people is. It's going to be a clean cut separation, of how we're going to look and how we're going to operate around these damn heathen.
Nah, that's super heavy. All right, what does a crown represent? You can walk throughout a crowd of people. It could be a crowd of 1,000 people, but that one guy who has the crown, all right, that's the king. That's, all these other motherfuckers, I don't know about them, but that guy right there, that's the king. And that's how, and just backing up the point with this brother just brought out. You want to say something?
Yeah, I want to read the NLT for you. It's going to explain even more how we're going to stick out. Zechariah 9:16 in NLT, it says, on that day the Lord, their power, Yahweh, will rescue his people, just as the shepherd rescues his sheep. They will sparkle in his land like jewels in a crown. So, you got the diamonds, you got whatever stones, when the light hit it, it could damn near blind you.
They say these diamonds hidden.
Hidden. That's how that's how we're going to be hidden in the kingdom, man. But you got it, bro.
And then, this to go into it further, because we're going to be, clothed with them new garments.
That's right.
That wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to be within us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going to help us stand out even more. Okay, and like you said, just going into it further, our tendencies, so on and so forth, all that's going to be, installed in us, man. But
go ahead, you got your pre-shot.
No, you going with that lamb?
Let me see. Actually, get that Lamentation. Then I'm gonna get you to jump to 2 and 11. You can get the 4 and 1 first.
This is Lamentations 4 verses 1. It says, how is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. So, the reason why I got this brother to grab that, to show that we had we were at a level, right, within the earth, okay, amongst all the other 17 nations that dwell among the earth as well. All right, we were at the top, okay, and pretty much, when you look into your ghettos, your barrios, your favelas, your bodegas, all right, you start to see the nastiness of Israel. Not just there, but that's the chief place in which Israel dwell. All right, by way of these devils, not just them, but how the Lord he threw us down. Okay, it said we thrown down. When you thrown down, you're thrown in the dirt, the dust. Okay, the mire, the mud. You say saying confusion.
You're right.
I got a quick one for you.
Okay, real quick. I just want to say this. You look at these different Section 8, housing. I've seen, cases with these different people where Eve is in there living like a warthog.
Oh man. You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we understand judgment. Okay, we understand the way things work. All right. And nevertheless, hey, Jake come up in some of that shit, man.
Yeah, we are.
Fucked up. Jake come up fucked up, man.
Yeah, and majority of us come up in them broken families, living foul.
Roaches, rats,
bed bugs.
The whole nine.
Yeah, living the trife life, as they say,
And that's gonna become a thing of the past. That came with us being brought down as a people, man. All right. Like the brother say, our heritage was basically we was cast away from it, man. You got your precept.
Just backing exactly what you said. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. The point is in 7. It says, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. All right, that being on that horse, they have the saying, being on your high horse, being in that authority, being at the top. We got goddamn heathen, you know, like you just said, the basis of men, you know, on that horse, you know, ruling over us. All right. And the prince is walking, you know, as servant, serving this damn devil. All right. But again, that's upside down, man. That's bullshit. And that's something that definitely needs to be turned around. And the Lord will turn that around.
Kind of like when you go into 2nd Ezra, 6th chapter, you know, Ezra was
Right.
complaining, you know, how
long?
Yeah, but he's like, how the hell, you know, if the world was made for us, how in the hell these heathens got, you know, authority and reigning over us, man, you know?
Right.
So, you know, from the beginning, we were intended to rule this planet Earth. All right, beginning with Adam. All right, he was the, you know, considered the first priest. All right, pretty much he was supposed to embody righteousness on the planet, man. You know, him and his descendants, the sons of God, the Adamites, so on and so forth. You know, but like you said again, you know, we failed. All right, and now look, you know, we in Babylon the Great, fucked over.
And you know, just to kind of, because Jacob see videos like this and have no hope. You feel me? Like how we gonna get back? But ultimately, that's what we here for, to explain. All right, I want to bring this out to break down what you just said. You know, because when you go into it, I believe it's in the Apocrypha, and it tell you, "Oh Adam, what hast thou done?" You know, just pretty much going into how we fell, you know, through Adam, but we're gonna be saved through Yahweh Shai, man. All right.
1 Corinthians 15.
That's right.
You know?
This is the book of Romans, and you really could start at like 16, but I just want to grab this. Romans 8:20. All right, it says, "For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope." All right, so ultimately we fell for a reason. All right, you see us in these fucked up positions. All right, filthy, you know, in the mire, you know, these different dilapidated sections of the city, you know, but it's for a reason, man. Okay, the Lord is literally showing us how not to run a kingdom, and the best way to show it is for the person who's being shown it to be involved in it, because now you'll never forget it. We're never gonna go off again, man. You know,
beginning with the elect.
That's
you know,
right.
Because we're going to be the governing body.
That's right.
You know, under Yahweh Shah, the 144,000. So us, you know, being the true rulers, okay, in the standard, even amongst Israel. All right, we see it firsthand. You know, through the Spirit, we see it firsthand. You know, and now we know, like, man, damn, okay, you know what I'm saying?
And even if we wanted to, we couldn't, because like you mentioned, we're gonna have the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. But it's, you know, we're getting the experience points, so to say. You know, damn, I know how I feel to kind of, because the scriptures tell you we're gonna be a kingdom of judges and priests. You see, and princes, man. All right, kings, royalty. But you have to know how to judge, right? So we've been put in these different situations in order to understand, all right, both sides of the story, so to say. You got your pre?
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." You know, and back in your brother, we know that obviously this is the Lord's story, man.
Right.
We can't get around it. If in a perfect world, you know, Jake would have never went off, and you know we would have been living great ever on. But again, the Lord had to make an example. The Lord had to show us again what not to do. You know, in order for this damn devil, for us to know who the damn devil is. You know.
Jake just was talking about this shit because, you know, brothers is heavy into the anime and things of that nature. All right, take Berserk, for example. Berserk is so fire because what? The controversy, the problems in which the protagonist goes through. That's what make it, it's like, damn, he prevailed from that? So, you know, and then we was talking about One Punch Man, me and a couple other brothers. That guy doesn't have any lows. He's just the best. It's like, I don't really want to watch that.
Right.
So the Lord that's what he done. The Lord knows how to make this is the best movie ever. The best novel. However Jake won't put it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So the Lord, he actually, you know, have this thing perfectly orchestrated, and it's being played out in its fullness, man.
That's why, you know, he's known as the Heavenly Father. When you go into that word Father, it goes into author.
That's right.
Or supreme,
Heavy.
Or supreme authority. You know, so the Heavenly Father literally is an author. You know, someone who you know wrote a book. You know, literally.
When you go into that word, I think it's in Exodus 3:15. That word war, right? Lord, the scriptures say the Lord is a man of war. When you go into war, it goes in a drama, man. Right? Ultimately, cinema. Okay, just and like you say, man, being an author, right?
And if you're looking into, brothers that's into that movie, I forget the correct terminology for the cinematic people who like that type of stuff. You can read the scriptures and get a glimpse of some type of story, if not every bit of genre of a movie or something like that. Yeah, you see some things you might find comical. You might see some of the things that has the drama in it. Right? You might see the war, the bloody, all of that.
Love stories.
Yeah, the love stories. You're going to see all this throughout the scriptures. All right, and that's just how the Lord orchestrated it, man. And it's beautiful, and that's how you can tell that it coincides, with this being, the Lord's story. And, if I could also say too, this story right here, overall, is an underdog story. Right? Somebody that was at the top that messed up and fell very low, just to be regained in that position, through one man, who messed up at the beginning,
And it's crazy, that you put it in that fashion, because I'm sitting here and my brain just clicking, hey, right here, this a portion of a love story between us and Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? Then it's also an action-packed film, dealing with Yahushai coming back in WW3, the martial law. All like I'm sitting here just categorizing different parts and portions of the scriptures, and it's, man, the Lord just, I'm speechless a little bit, bro. I'm speechless.
This is the best romantic, action-packed, comical,
whatever the genre,
thriller, ever.
Spooky. This bitch got scary scenes in it too. You hear me?
The Lord, he covered all ground, man. Through the Spirit.
And it's educational.
I always say, bro, it's like the Lord. Everything the Lord does makes sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? It just, everything, just life itself just makes sense.
You don't understand it.
Right,
it's going to make sense somehow.
It makes sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? How we live, there's so on and so forth, man. The Lord, like you say in Job, he's just beyond comprehension. You know what I'm saying?
But if I could say, that's how you can identify the devil as well. That person who tries to take away the way things are, all right, or the way things were intended to be. The Lord don't need you to come and improve something that he created already. All right, it's perfect in itself. You don't need to tweak it, But do me a favor and get that second verse for me.
Come. Lamentations 4:2. It reads, "The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter."
That's right, man. Jake really considered the precious sons of Zion, man, comparable to fine gold, all right, and not just the men.
Yeah, now a nigga backwood.
Yeah,
nigga went from being compared to gold to now you compared to a fucking black amount. That's what I'm saying. But that's how people look at it. It's like these niggas ain't worth nothing but FTs, filter tips, Hennessy. When you
Crack,
think of Jake, that's what you
drugs.
think of,
Hey, and that's what the Lord, he considers you as if you don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. What did he tell you? You're a brute beast.
Yep.
And back to explain that even more, back in the day, to be called any type of animal was an ultimate insult. So the Lord then cursed us out at so many levels if you're not within those law, statutes, commandments. But you gotta go.
And then it just had me thinking about what the broad said you know, seeing Jake
Yeah.
shirts tucked in, you know, of course we ain't had no tie on and no goofball shit like that, but
Right.
you know, well put.
Yeah.
She scoffed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it's almost like, damn, would you have rather if I came in here with my pants hanging off half of my ass?
Yeah.
Right, and just you know, big ass long tees and you know, tennis shoes. You know, bitch got her panties in a bunch because Jake dressed proper, you know, appropriate.
Took care of himself.
Yeah, look well taken care of.
That's the spirit. Me and a brother were just having a like little conversation, you know, about how Jake, you know, typically dress J's and T's, which ain't, you know,
Right,
brothers
ain't nothing
dress,
wrong with that.
Yeah, brothers
Nothing
dress
wrong
how they
with that.
dress. You know, we ain't, you know, come on, we in captivity, so we know we ain't gonna,
Right.
you know, Jake ain't gonna be living like that. But you know, just being put together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and even Apostle Rakah said it, like, you know, brother, he encouraged brothers to not be dressing like niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, put yourself together. And, you know, I know myself personally, I've been, you know, getting out of that habit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, trying to be more put together when Jake stepped, you know, so on and so forth, you know?
Yeah. If I could back you up, brother, again, that's a mindset that, you know, I can speak for myself and, you know, many more brothers can speak for. It's been something in your mind that clicked of like, man, I want to separate myself away from this pack, you know, as much as I can. You know, you see it and you know you've been doing it for so long. We know that we was once among the Walking Dead. You know, those dry bones. We all knew that we used to operate like that. So of anything that we can do, you know, obviously we're doing it through the Spirit, through the Scriptures. You know, the work of the Lord separating ourselves, but I want to separate myself even furthermore away from these niggas. You know, but you bros got it.
You got it.
Lamentations 2:11 for the brother. It says, "Mine eyes do fail with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swoon in the streets of the city."
That's it. You know, pretty much. You know what Jeremiah was saying is, you know, he threw up. It says his my bowels are troubled, my liver is poured upon the earth. All right, so at one point in time, you had, you know, Jay saying, man, we'll never be like that.
Right.
You know, seeing the Kodak Blacks, the Pooh Shiesties, the Sexy Reds, the Cardi B's, 6ix9ines, and the list can go on and on and on, right? You know, that's the type of shit Jeremiah seen. You know, Jake walking around as an empty corpse, walking around dead, not knowing who their power is. You know what I'm saying? Actually, you know, being in the place of the fucking Edomites, man. Being low, okay? Jeremiah saw that and puked. All right, through the vision, he saw that shit come out the vision and threw up, man. You know? You got something you want to bring up? Khan.
Yeah, I got something for you.
Go ahead.
This is Psalms 23:4. It says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and staff, they comfort me." All right. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. All right. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me in all days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. All right. But you know, us, you know, being here in America, man, you know, in this very low place. All right, the Lord is dealing with us, man. All right, the Lord is dealing with us to have that oil anointed on our head, you know, giving us that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you know, to operate and move, man. So we could care less, you know, what these, you know, niggas got going on, you know, rather less even these damn heathen, you know.
If I could say, because you sparked the thought to come back in circulation. All right, because I was thinking about this earlier, but we ended up, you know, going into different things. But really and truly, man, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding gives Jake the courage to step outside of the norm. All right, Jake and the world don't want to step out of the norm because they don't understand that the norm of today's world is actually wickedness.
Yeah.
So it's and I get it, right? Jake fear the unknown. All right, they don't know. Can't blame him, but we gon' blame him.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Fuck it. Somebody got to get blamed. You know what I'm saying? But never. And then the Jakes that do, you know, and I'm harping on the dressing part, but it's not really about just that.
It's the mindset.
It's the mindset that you know that comes with it. Because Jake do dress, you know, put together. But then you talk to Jake a fucking a fucking airhead, man.
Yeah.
You know, Jake don't know shit, or he has been conformed into the way Esau, the second trap.
Yeah.
All right, because Edom, he a cunning hunter. He placed a trap within a trap that's also within another trap. All right. So once Jake figure out, I don't have to dress like this, or I don't have to live like this. But he's slowly creeping into the next snare.
Mm-hmm.
He don't even see that he's in a snare.
Being indoctrinated.
Yeah, he's just, you know, following along the program.
Yeah.
But yeah, you sparked that back into circulation, man. Yeah. Jake got the courage. Jake bringing out, bro, we cursing out the fucking elites in the you know, banking families of the earth that rule this earth. You think we give a fuck about what some nappy head bitch got to say?
That's the spirit. If I could add
True
to you,
shit.
brother. I don't know if Jake's seen that. But then again, you see it through the spirit. Like, you know, of course, it's beginning with us through the spirit. You know, the mindset of being regal, being royal,
Right.
being more put together. But you know, if you like even via like social media, you know, the whole quarters it trend.
I did see that. I did see that.
So you had a nappy headed
That's
wig
heavy.
you know what I'm saying, who was like, oh, that's giving white people vibe and all this and that. No, it's just because through the spirit, like Jake, you know, I would say it's just coming back to that, you know, that upstanding type mentality. You know, getting out of the nigga culture, the nigga way, and all that shit, being real put together like we once were.
But Baka shot, brother. And I just want to make this disclaimer: we ain't gonna be in the fucking kingdom wearing that dumbass shit.
Yeah.
You know how these Edomites proclaim,
right? But it's just the mindset.
It's the mindset, right? But in this world has been fashioned behind these devils, all right? And you know, man, we gonna be on a whole nother level. So Jake understand that shit, man.
Yeah, like you
shit
said,
that makes sense.
So like we're not harping on, you know, the dress code or none of that.
Right.
It's the mindset. You know, the like the brother said, the regal mindset, the royal mindset that Jake is you know, pushing out, man. You know, the way Jake dress, how Jake eat, taking care of their body, you know, so on and so forth. Things that we once had, all right, that separated us from the other nations. All right, because prior to Esau, you know, fully coming to his blessing, he was a fucking cave dweller. He was a beast, you know. Even the other heathen, they you know, dealt with abominations. You know, they were thinking, you know, foul shit, you know. And what we had to walk us like the law, statutes, and commandments that had set us apart, you know, from the other nations, man. And like I said, that's ultimately the, you know, what's encompassing, you know, this video, man. All right, it's the mindset of or a regal or royal mindset, man.
Cause if I could say, bro, Jake can go even into the, you know, the actual dress in itself. The ancient wear made sense.
Yeah.
We weren't wearing fucking pants. You know, compacting, you know, cloth around your genitals and things of that nature. Wearing fucking socks and
you have like linen trousers and
come on,
like
man.
That, you know.
No, like the whole format is gonna go back to what made sense, in the earth, man. Open toe shoes that actually makes sense when you go. That's a whole thing in itself. You know, the different fabric in which things are made out of. Because Jake don't even know that fabric holds frequencies. All right, but Jake one-minded. Jake don't know nothing about the different frequencies whether it's from music, right, the fabrics, or even, you know, Jake environment. Everything has a frequency.
That's why it's like, if I can add to you, brother, like that's why like if you go to like, you know, the older hospitals and shit, they use linen sheets. Things like that. You know, because like you said again, like they everything has a spirit tied to it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, brother.
So like you said, them frequencies, etc. Like you said, everything made sense. Even like how Jake wear gold and shit, it's energy conductors. You know,
hey,
spirit.
When Jake go visit they family in the country, what the first thing Jake say?
Yeah.
Damn, I think I could think now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you ain't got fucking
yeah.
frequency waves, negative frequency waves steady beating on you.
Mm-hmm.
You not around concrete no more. Things of that nature, which Jake getting off topic, but nevertheless, that's a whole nother lesson in itself, man. All right. But it start with the way how your mindset, man. Con. And we gonna end it on that first Kings.
Got it.
Go ahead,
Con. They had one more. Y'all sparked it in my head. I couldn't think of it, but if I could roughly paraphrase it and see if y'all could remember it, is dealing with by us having the law, statute, commandments. All the other nations was basically admonishing us, like surely, y'all are the chosen people.
That's the limitations.
Is the limitations?
Wait, no, it ain't. I'm tripping.
You talking about Deuteronomy 4?
I gotta hear
You
it.
say what great people is this?
I think that's it.
I think we was talking about that too.
That was another one I was looking for, but the one I definitely remember was
so like, in this, pretty much Moses is, just giving, words of encouragement through the Spirit. But hold on, let me see. I'm gonna read it for you. Deuteronomy 4, and I believe it is. I'm gonna start at 6. It says, "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations."
Yep, that's it.
Come.
Yep.
It says, "Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation, is a wise and understanding people." You want to speak on it?
Come. That's what the law, statute, commandments gives us.
Mm-hmm.
That's that separation. That we are supposed to have. Around these people. And, I got the precept to back that up as well, of the Lord definitely just separated us from the pack.
I got one more real quick, if I may. Verse 7, it says, "For what nation is there so great who have the Most High so nigh unto them as Yahweh our Lord," or so like Yahweh our God is in all things that we call upon him.
God. And, that's what we went into a lesson a while back of being I forget how it goes. Like your woman being another person, another.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart.
Start with a V.
Say it again.
Basically, like if your children, it's another. If they see the children how they act, that's got to be something from the father. Like moving as one in a sense.
I can't think of it.
It's a certain word.
It's escaping me.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. But it's like when your woman go out, she's the representation of what your foundation that you set up at home.
Right.
Basically.
And same thing, vice versa with us. The law, statute, commandments, us moving greatly like that as a representation of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
All right. So that's why it's the praises that go down. For us doing it all the way still back to the Lord. He still get praises no matter what. But that was it on that.
Let me get verse 8. It says, "And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?"
And that's again the clean separation. All right, that's how everybody is supposed. That's how everybody will think of us again. Once we, our Lord comes back, destroy this place, and put us back on top. Everything is going to flow through Israel.
Isaiah the 2nd chapter. All the nations going to go up to the mount of Zion. Because they're going to be, again, at awe of our splendor. Our judgments, our laws. How we treat the earth, the kingdom, our buildings, palaces, so on and so forth. They're going to be like, dang, we're going to cleave unto this people, man.
Yes, brother.
And even now, like what we was going into, like a lot of these nations learn from us.
Right. We saw the earth.
Yeah. But that's it, brother.
I got 1 Peter chapter 2 and 9. It says, "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of the darkness into this marvelous light." All right? Those are heavy words. A chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, holy going into being separate. All right? A peculiar people. We are the apple of the Lord's eye. All right? So we need to move as such, and us being a spectacle, you know, really again, Jake don't give a fuck, you know what people think, you know.
Right.
We know that we know the Lord's name, and we know that we're doing the Lord's work. So you know, everything else is going to come at the end, and you know, we're just going to do, you know, what we feel is correct through the Spirit. You know?
Yeah, basically the Lord is just reminding us who the fuck He is, man, who He made us to be. Because Esau done a beautiful job of beating the fuck out of our people, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually, into the fact of which they don't remember who they was. Now, I was thinking about this. I was in the shower this morning, you know, and I was thinking about the video I did with the brother Raya. I going into the Superman, and how Superman was basically remembering that he was a Kryptonian and he's not a human. And one thing that I was thinking about was in The Lion King. You remember when Simba daddy died, and then he came to him in a fucking dream, or when he was looking up in the heavens, in the Shemayim, and he said, "Remember." He kept telling him, "Remember who you are. Remember." And the fire got lit, you know, in him, and you remember he started running back, and Rafiki was praising because he was like, "This nigga remember," like you know. But nevertheless, go ahead.
That's why we say Kwam Yasharella.
Yeah, rise Israel, man.
know?
Remember Israel. Fucking remember.
Like, but some brothers say, "Wake up, Jacob." You know.
So,
You know, like, Jay got to remember who you are. And you know, for us brothers, we do, and that's how we move. How we move, and you know, like I said, from the outside looking in, people, it's like, you know, we faking a funk, or we just trying to know. But this is how we're carrying ourselves moving forward.
My mind is like this.
Yeah.
Your gate is a representation of what your mind is doing. Brothers also say this too. You know, your room, your atmosphere, your house, your dwelling, your tent represents how your mind is moving. All right. If you're, and it's not always the case, but majority of the time it is, man. All right.
How Jay carried it, so bro, it goes a long way.
If your car, you like, I hear the elders say this shit all the time, bro. Jay could tell a lot about a nigga, or even a female. You feel me? Bitch pull up, fucking car, you know, rappers, Skittles and
McDonald's
nuggets
fries,
and shit underneath the fucking seat.
Have been
crumbs.
You know, Jake clean the whip out. Have, you know, the old ass McDonald's fry in there. It never went old and shit. Fuck shit. But big golf cup in there and shit.
Come on, man. You know, Coke cans and cigarette butts and shit. You know, but nevertheless, I say that to say, man, when you see a guy that's well put together, all right, best believe 9 times out of 10 that guy have a head on his shoulders, man. You know,
with whatever he has,
whatever he have, bro. Whatever style of dress he have, you see. But yeah, nah. I'm about to read this Deuteronomy real quick, and we could end it on the 1 Kings. We ain't got to get the whole account. I want you to start at 4.
Got it.
But real quick, this Deuteronomy 7:6, it says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." So you mean to tell me these people, right, these special people, these holy people, these separate people who have been severed from the other 17 nations that dwell upon the face of the planet earth, all right, you don't think they're going to have a certain aesthetic about themselves?
Right.
You don't think they're going to live a certain way, look a certain way? That's you know, I won't say the R word, but that's a special person, you know, wouldn't even think of that. And I'm talking special in a negative manner. Right? A negative connotation when I say that.
Special ED.
Yeah, ED. But go ahead, we can end on that.
This is 1 Kings 10 and verses 4. It says, "And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of Yahweh, there was no more spirit in her. So she was wooed in a
She
bit.
wooed, man.
You know how women be when they see a man, like, she probably moist and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Passed out. You know she was moist when she passed out, man.
You know what I'm saying? So she like, what the fuck? You know what I'm talking about?
Who is this nigga?
Yeah.
But we going back to that.
Yeah, kind of.
You know?
Just
Man,
like,
that was
it was like that spirit we was talking about, like, you know what I'm talking about?
out the gate.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
God,
that's how it be, bro. You know, like his brother said, we going back to that, man. But you want me to keep going?
that's the point. You know, that's the point. Well, no. Go to verse 6. Get that.
Got it. It says, and she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom, right? Because wisdom ultimately brought him all the physical possessions,
Accolades.
Yeah, exactly.
You could get 7 as well. So like
Got it. It says, howbeit I believed not the word until I came, and mine eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard.
Yeah, man, that's what we going back to, man. You know, and it ain't gonna be in these fleshly bodies. We talking immortal bodies, perfect bodies. Okay, with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to back it up. All right, Solomon did this in a fleshly body. All right, still had the aches, the pains, the illnesses. All right, the things that this flesh is how could I say, a curse to. That ain't the word I wanted to use, but he did it in these bodies. So just imagine in the kingdom of heaven where we have full dominion, right? All reign, okay, on the face of the planet Earth. Sovereignty, man. Imagine then, okay? Hey, these heathens will be blessed to even, be in a presence. Right?
You thought Michael Jackson had motherfuckers falling out.
That's wild.
That's wild.
That's wild.
Just imagine, you decide to come through your city for the one time. You know what I'm saying?
For the one time, bro.
They gonna be like, what the fuck? Everybody's gonna drop. It's gonna be bodies dropping. It's gonna be like
drops
that,
and
bro.
moist panties, bro.
Yeah. Everywhere. You know what I'm talking about?
But Jake just wanted to kind of get into this. It was a beautiful experience. This brother's his stay down here in New Orleans is coming to a conclusion, right? This will be his last night here, so Jake wanted to put something on wax before he leave, right? And what a way to end it. Okay, it was a beautiful night. Jake just wanted to reflect on, a couple of things that came up in the spirit throughout the course of the night. All right, so without any further ado, if you brothers don't have anything else to add,
good, brother.
All right, we'll get out of here, man. All right, we want to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to hopefully elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
Ababa Ba.
Baba.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwame Yasharala.
Shalom.